Hello everybody, my name is Emma and I'm the creator of the May Contain comic series about food allergies. So today I'm just going to answer some questions from Twitter and Instagram about food allergies. So starting off with the Twitter questions, the first one is from Free Hug Lady and says, what are some things that people or groups have done correctly? But the main thing is asking questions. I've been asked if I can have nutmeg at least like 8 times in the past 2 weeks over the holidays, but I am very glad that people asked instead of just assuming it was okay. So asking questions is good, asking what is and isn't safe for a person, and then also asking what to do if something happens, how EpiPens work, what the emergency plan is, all that kind of stuff. And then another thing, and this is mainly for buffet or potluck type events, is putting out labels. You don't have to plate everything up nice. If you have like a package of cookies, you can just leave them in the package, and then the label is there for anybody who wants to read them. And then also, if you have something that is free of certain allergens, like gluten-free brownies or something, you can make just a simple little tent out of a note card that just says gluten-free or nut-free, egg-free, etc. And those are wonderful because then you know at least this thing is safe, even if maybe you don't know if the others are. So yeah, those are some wonderful things that people have done. And then we have from Ginger C, how have your allergies changed since you were younger? My peanut allergy has gotten much more severe. When I was little, I never needed anything more than Benadryl, even after I'd eaten peanuts by accident. In middle school, however, I became anaphylactic to peanuts, and now even just being in the same room as peanut products can trigger minor reactions. As for my tree nut allergy, that seems to have gotten better over time. I haven't had a reaction to tree nuts in years, but I'm still not clear to eat it until we get a skin test and an oral challenge done. But that one is much better. So one got worse, the other one got better. And then from Lucy's Friendly Foods, we have, how did you cope in social situations as a child and now as an adult? But as a child, to be honest, it was mostly my parents and not me. When my allergies were still fairly mild when I was younger, my parents would just tell me what not to eat, and they also made sure that my friends and their parents knew what foods to avoid. I was really, really bad at asking if something had nuts or not, because I was always afraid of being viewed as like a nuisance or a burden. I never wanted to be annoying. I never wanted to be that kid. So on my end, I would not say that I handled it well at all. I usually only asked if something had nuts in it if it looked like it did, or if I'd already eaten it and was getting itchy. I don't recommend that. Don't do what I did. As an adult, I have been much better about asking about every food and reading labels. I do have a tendency to not want to go to social events because I worry about there being peanuts and therefore the risk of airborne reactions. Potluck type events are always really nerve-wracking for me, but I have gotten much better at insisting that peanuts either not be there or very clearly labeled. The fear of being a burden is still very much present, and sometimes it does take over and I don't ask for things I need, but I am much better about it than I used to be. And I mean, food is a social thing. If my food allergies cause someone to exclude me, then functionally, they're saying that they value my allergens over me. And since I kind of realized that, it's been a lot easier to ask what I need. It sounds really harsh, and maybe it is, but it is the truth. And then from Elizabeth, who had multiple questions. The first one was, what are your favorite containers for packing your own foods? I don't really have any particular favorites. I usually use Tupperware, just since it's easy to wash and it's reusable. I don't have like a specific brand or anything that I use. Favorite pancake recipe? Well, I'm not allergic to the things in most pancake recipes. I haven't actually seen any pancake recipes that have peanuts or tree nuts, but I really like buttermilk pancakes. If you're looking for allergy-friendly pancakes, I know Hungry Harry's has a really good pancake mix. They served it at FabLockCon in 2018 when I was there, and it was really good. So they make a good pancake mix. I'll put a link in the description to that. And then, coping with family, coworkers, or church groups who are unwilling to avoid or restrict things that are potential contact reactions. So, the biggest piece of advice I can give when it comes to people not willing to do very simple things to let you participate safely is to be annoying. Like, insist. As I mentioned earlier, if they're not willing to just not serve certain foods or spend a few more minutes cleaning, then functionally, they're saying that they value that food or maybe the time spent not cleaning over you or your kids or whoever it is that has those allergies. Again, I know that sounds really, really harsh, but food allergies are not hard to accommodate for. It just takes a little extra cleaning and not serving certain foods, and most of which have very good alternatives. If there's a peanut allergy, well, you could try sunflower butter or soy butter. Are they gluten-free? Well, a lot of grocery stores have a gluten-free aisle. Is there a tree nut allergies? Pumpkin seeds are pretty good. Dairy allergy? Vegan cheese and rice milk are pretty good alternatives. And if they're really not willing to do a little extra cleaning and label reading, then I would honestly ask them point blank, Why do they value certain foods more than your presence? Again, it sounds harsh, but that is what they're saying when they refuse to do something so simple. And secondly, if they refuse to accommodate and there's clearly no way to change their minds, honestly, I'd say peace out. If they're not willing to make it safe for me to be there, then they clearly don't value my presence, and there's no reason to risk your safety or your kids' safety for people who do not value your presence there. Thoughts on the memes that connect food allergies to anti-vaxxers? Wow. Honestly, I haven't seen any of these memes before. I'll put the picture up in the video. Wow. All I really have to say about it is that I'm impressed by how ignorant people can be at times. Yeah, let's compare a real life and often life-threatening health condition with anti-vax logic. Wonderful. Oh my goodness. I remember seeing an article that claimed vaccines could cause food allergies. It was retweeted by a doctor who made it very, very clear that that was not the case. And I remember I just skimmed through the article ever so slightly and none of it made any sense whatsoever. The connection reminded me of that. In some ways, I can kind of understand the comparison. Like, food allergies have this stereotype of being made up or at least exaggerated. And when you think about it, they kind of do sound ridiculous. Like, for me, peanuts, which most people enjoy regularly in snacks and candies and cakes and things, for me, is a deadly poison. And I can kind of see the train of thought where it sounds like something that would have to be made up a little bit, but it seems to simply boil down to an issue of awareness and education. I mean, that comparison is stupid. It's based on a misunderstanding, and saying that people concerned about their or their kids' food allergies are the same as anti-vaxxers is, quite frankly, bullshit. I think it just kind of shows how much more work there is to do for awareness. Okay, and now for the Instagram questions. From Eternalisdom, we have, how did you or your parents discover your allergies? Okay, I was really little. I think I was like 1 or 2. I've been told this story multiple times. I do not remember it at all. My brothers both had PB&Js for lunch, and being my sneaky little self, after they left their plates, I snuck up and started munching on one of the half sandwiches left on the plate by my brother. And Mom didn't think much of it at first. She just wanted to clean my face since I was a messy eater. And then she saw that my face was covered in hives, which, as she describes, were as big as pennies. She quickly called the doctor, and a scratch just later, no more peanuts or tree nuts for me. From Queer Christian Family Values, what about your life and experiences with food allergies? Any horror stories? Okay, well, this is a very big question, but I'm going to boil it down to one story. This is from my junior year of high school. I think I actually made a comic about this, and I know I tweeted about it when it happened. It's probably somewhere in the backlog of Twitter. My school had what we called SRT, Student Resource Time, and it was basically a school-wide study hall period since we were on a block schedule. I spent most of them in the art room that year. One of the reasons for that was because one of the girls in my SRT was someone pretty well known as our grade's bully. She started drama and arguments for attention, and I've been told by several people that she would get into physical fights somewhat frequently. One day, when I didn't go to the art room, I don't remember why, she brought in one of those plastic candy canes filled with Reese's Pieces and started waving it around, asking if anyone wanted to buy it from her. I asked her not to open it until next period since I could have an airborne reaction, and she gave me hell for that very simple request. We went back and forth arguing for a while, and eventually I just kind of snapped and said, "Oh, would you like to pay for my hospital bill then?" Since I was just done with her. And the next day, or I guess the next block or my next SRT, when I got into the class, she gave me this very, very clear death glare, and then just announced to the room asking if anybody had peanut butter. And, you know, it's like, does anyone have any peanut butter? I want to have some fun. Just very clearly implying that she wanted to basically attack me with my allergen and give me a reaction, which that very quickly sent me into a panic attack. I went to the school's counselor, and I did tell him, and he told me that he would talk to her about it, and she didn't bother me about it again. But even then, for the next 2 weeks, I just went to the art room instead. I was too scared to go into my SRT classroom. I always got a pass for going to the art room. From Madeline J870, any advice for college students with peanut allergies? Hey, that's me. I haven't found it to be too much different from handling peanut allergies in other situations so far. Obviously, ask questions about food. Having a small packet of wet wipes in your bag is helpful for wiping down tables and chairs and things. Also, make sure you're set up with the disability department at your school. They can help with the dining hall, or if you ever have to miss class due to your allergies or things like that. If the dining hall isn't thoroughly labeled, make sure to talk to the staff there. They should be able to let you know what is and isn't safe for you. I also keep a small hoard of safe food in my dorm room. Things like cans canned soup, snack foods, oatmeal, etc. That way, if I don't remember to get dinner before the dining hall closes, or if I just don't want to deal with asking about food, I still have something to eat. But yeah, overall, I haven't found it to be too much different from everyday peanut allergy management. And lastly, we have a question I got asked in a Discord server. If a food is cross-contaminated, like someone took a knife from a peanut butter jar and used it to cut an apple, could you wash off the apple or other food to make it safe to eat? So basically asking about cross-contamination, can you clean off a food that has been cross-contaminated? I would say no. The only way I could think washing the food would make it safe is if it was like an apple that was never cut, like the skin was still fully intact. Because in order to wash something to make it safe from cross-contamination, you have to use soap. And I can't really think of a way to do that with a food without kind of ruining the food. So I would much rather throw away that apple or give it to someone else without an allergy rather than trying to clean it. It's possible that there's like an edge case where you can do that, but I would not. Alright, well, thank you all for your questions. I hope this has been a little bit informative, and I hope you enjoyed. Thank you!